What's going on, guys? Dad Dash here. So we are here for an order review, and we're going to go through the orders today that I did on the 23rd, and we're going to look at a profitability review and go over just how profitable the decisions I made. And one of the things I like to preach to my kids, to myself, to people out there in the gig economy is that, good choices lead to good results. So this is how I like to go through and review the choices I made, learn from the choices, see which ones bore good results, see which ones I maybe need to make adjustments on based on what I saw when I was out in the field. So let's jump right in, guys, and get into the video. So here we are, guys. This is the first order that I saw that I accepted. I'm not going to go through the declines. I'm only going to be going through the ones that I accepted. So the first one was a Five Guys, 2.1 miles. You're going to see it was 2.1 miles, and it was to the this is the main shopping center area right here, and over in this area over here is other restaurants. But I accepted this, and then after getting this one for $7 for 2.1 miles, I got an add-on, and you can see I was actually at the drop-off here when I got this add-on, but I got an add-on for 5.1 miles for $5.50 going an additional 1.1 miles. So I accepted this order and went ahead with it. And actually, it was really not 1.1 miles at all, because the drop-off for the first one was here, and it actually ended up being the same customer. So as I was on my way here, I got this, and then I ended up going past the hotel to here. It was actually a hotel was where I was dropping it off. So jumping into the order itself, we ended up making $12.50. Made exactly what the offer was offering. Now, per mile gas cost for this shift was 8 cents a mile. I was doing a 50 cent per order maintenance cost. I wasn't doing it by mile, just 50 cents per order that I did. And per mile tax, and on stacked orders, still 50 cents. Per mile tax deduction, 59 cents. It's rounding up, but it's actually 58.5 cents, which is the current per mile tax deduction. The total time that this order took was 27 minutes. Miles driven was total 34 miles. Now, why is it 34 miles? You see too, and that's because there were miles I drove into the market. I had my app on, and as a result, I went ahead and count those miles because I was looking for orders. I just did not receive anything on the way in. Order gas cost for the orders was $2.75. Maintenance cost 50 cents. Total tax deduction was $19.89, which means we paid no taxes on this order. So the only thing we were charged this order was the maintenance cost, the gas cost. Total cost of the order to get it done, $3.25. Total profit after expenses was $9.25. We still ended up with an expense ratio, even though we didn't pay taxes, of well over 25%. So that tells you probably we needed to reach for about $13 or more. I always say when I drive into a market from outside and I'm looking for orders, that means I've got to find at least $13 to $14 in my first order. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. Profit per minute in this case was 34 cents a minute for a total order profit value of $20.56. And I will remind everyone, I'm looking for $20 or more per hour profit value. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to cover wait times and things in between orders when I'm searching orders, and that's going to get me a very healthy profit at the end of the day. Now, that is not gross revenue. Gross revenue I'm looking for is $25 or more gross revenue per hour. So that gives me $5 to spend on expenses, gas, and taxes. And if it all maps out well, I'm looking for 20 or more. So let's move on to the next order here. Next order we got was right as we got done and made that delivery. I took this lowball order thinking that, hey, you know what? It's 5:30. It's right around the corner, 2.9 miles. Let's keep moving. Let's do this, $6.50. And we'll take a look and see how this mapped out. But you can see in the mapping here, places here, right down here is where the drop-off was at. It looked decent. It looked like it was something I could get done quickly in a small order that's under $10, speed is key. So let's see how this order turned out. Let's see how it did. DoorDash was telling me I was going to get it done in 17 minutes. Whoops, went too far. All right, so did not fall in what DoorDash said, because part of the reason was there was a wait. Wait time got me here. It took 22 minutes to complete the order, and you're going to see this definitely very negatively affected the outcome of this order. We drove 3 total miles. Gas order cost was only 24 cents. Maintenance cost was 50 cents. Total tax deduction was $1.76 due to the low miles. Total order expense was $1.93. Our profit after expense was only $4.57. And because we worked 22 minutes, this thing really was a very, very weak 21 cents per minute worked for a total order profit value. Reminding you, this is not gross revenue. This is the profit I took home of $12.47 an hour for an expense ratio of a whopping $29.67. A lot of that due to the size of this order and the fact that we drove 3 miles. And with these smaller orders, you're going to have a higher expense ratio, but you're hoping to make your profit on a per minute basis by making more per minute, by getting it done faster and being able to turn that hour into more. And we did not do that here. It was not successful. Now, next, I got this opportunity for Brothers Pizzeria, Italian restaurant. You can see here, we're going to be doing a little bit of traveling here, but it was 4.4 miles from this point right here, which I was on my way back from the drop-off there. So we went ahead and accepted this. Let's see how this one turned out. $11.67. It ended up taking 29 minutes for the order. We drove 7 total miles, so it was actually a little bit more than what they told me, which sometimes I find this to be the case with GrubHub, because it actually, and I probably misstated there. I said that I thought it was from the moment of acceptance. I believe it's from restaurant to customer. I don't think they're factoring in for moment of acceptance, because as you can see there, I was on my way there and they were factoring it out at 4.7 miles, and we were probably about 3 miles from the restaurant from that position you saw there in the slide. Anyways, gas order cost 57 cents per mile. Maintenance cost 50 cents. Total tax deduction $4.10. Again, this was a lower miles, right? So you're going to see a trend here where you see the lower mile orders tend to have a higher expense ratio, but you're hoping to offset the higher expense ratio with lower time. Let's see, how did this all play out? Profit after expense in this case was $8.71. That resulted in a 30 cent per minute profit. This came out with an expense ratio over 25%, which is higher than what we wanted. And that was at 25.36%. But we ended up with an order profit value of under $20, which again was under our goal for the order, and that was $18.02. So stress was on here to try to find a better order to follow this up with. We need to find a really profitable order. Let's see what we pop through next. So from the drop-off location, right, this was accepted on the way from the restaurant to the customer's house. I knew the location of this restaurant based on that customer's address that I already had in front of me this was right around the corner. This was like a mile to, not even a mile, probably a half a mile. You literally went across the street and this place was there. So I knew this was covered a miles back. I knew the area I was going to be in did not have DoorDash support. I knew it was very unlikely I was getting any other orders if I turned this one down, because I would have to be waiting and driving at least 4 to 5 miles to head back based on the positioning that I was going to be at. So I took this order. A lot of you would probably look at this and say, 10.29 to $10.92, 9 miles. What are you doing? Well, let's just see how profitable this was, because this was all about time and speed that was going to make this order profitable. Was it profitable? Let's find out. Here we go. $10.92 obviously was what the order was, because it was GrubHub. We only worked 20 minutes on this order. So first of all, speed worked out. Gas cost 73 cents. Maintenance cost 50 cents. Because of the size of the order, because it was over $10, we still were able to maintain even with going 9 miles, an expense ratio of under 25%. Okay, so the size of the order, along with the miles driven, drove our expense ratio under 25%, which is what I wanted. And we ended up with an order profit value. Well, first of all, we ended up with profit after expense of $8.28. We ended up with a profit per minute of over 40 cents, 41 cents per minute. This resulted in an order profit value of 24.84. So a very, very strong order profit value. Now, this was because of the time we were able to spend doing the order, because I knew the market, I knew where it was taking me to, and I also knew this was going to put me right back where I wanted to be at, in position to get another order. Drove up the profitabilities of the order, drove up the profitabilities of the shift. Let's see how this thing plays out now. Did we get another order that was worth it? Well, we're going to find out. So, next order I get, you can see GrubHub was pinging me. This is at the drop-off, actually, of that order, of the hibachi order. We end up with a $14.26 Glory Days grill. Now, I knew this place was right around the corner. It was right up the street. I went ahead. I accepted it. Uber was estimating 20 minutes. Just looking at that alone tells me the profitability of this order is through the roof. Now, the expense ratio was going to be potentially a problem, but offsetting the expense ratio with the time was going to be huge for this order. So I went ahead and snapped this up. Even though I knew there was a potential for a wait, I was right around the corner. I knew I had that full 20 minutes. At least I had at least 30 minutes, because I would be at $30 gross revenue per hour, even at a 30-minute part. And I knew I was only traveling a very light amount of miles. So I was all over this order. So we took it. Let's see how it turned out. So we ended up working the order. This ended up being one of our best orders of the evening, bar none. So this, again, all came about because Yate Hibachi order was taken. It put me in proximity to Glory Days Grill, which allowed for this to all transpire. 11 minutes worked, $14.52 order amount. We didn't get any extra tip, which Uber is known for extra tips, but this order did not have it. 32-cent gas cost, maintenance cost of 50 cents. We only had a tax deduction of $2.34. Tax withholding ended up being $3.05. Expense ratio was high, 26.64%. However, it was offset by the speed and time we were able to get this order done. We ended up with a $10.65 profit, but for 11 minutes of work, that ended up in a 97 cents per minute profit per minute. That ended up with an order profit value of $58.10 per hour. That is exceptionally strong. So this was one of our strongest orders of the evening, bar none. All right, so next we got done with this order. The key here is finding another order. This still left us in great positioning to find another order. However, there was a little bit of a lull, but we did find an order not too long after. This one was a GrubHub order, $11.95 for 5.1 miles. You can see it's all in a close proximity. It's all in that tight proximity, which this is the area we want to be in. This is the hub of activity, all in a tight area. Still 6:30 in the evening, still a strong time. Sheetz normally has their orders ready. I knew that, so we went ahead and accepted it. How did this order turn out? Well, let's see. We ended up with a 24 minutes. We ended up working for 24 minutes on this order. We drove 6 miles. We had a 48-cent gas cost, a maintenance cost of 50 cents, for a total tax deduction of $3.51 based on those 6 miles. That resulted in a tax withholding of $2.11. So our total order expense to do this order was $3.09. We came in just over where we wanted to be at, which was $25 or 25.9%. But even though we were slightly over, we still came in under where we could still be profitable and hit that $20 or more. We came in at $8.86 profit after expenses. Our profit per minute worked was 37 cents a minute. That's outstanding. And our order profit value was $22.14. Again, outstanding. So, very happy with this result. So once we got done with this order, let's see what came next. We got this $13 2.5 mile order. All right, now, if you watch my ride along, you'll see how crazy this order got. But we're going to just take this order on based on what ended up being worked and the time we spent on it. We actually ended up combining another order with this because this restaurant was extremely busy and had like a 45-minute wait time. But a DoorDash order came on before this one. But we're going to take each order as its own profitability center. So here it was. We ended up with 22 minutes worked on this order. Even though the wait time was longer, I offset some of that wait time that could have made this a really disastrous order by accepting that other DoorDash order, which we're going to look at next. This ended up resulting in a 5-mile drive. Some of that's because I had to drive away from the restaurant. That resulted in a 40-cent gas cost on the order, 50-cent maintenance cost, $2.93 on the tax deduction. Total tax withholding of $2.52 for a total order expense of $3.42. Now, what did this result in as far as expense ratio goes? You'd think with a $13 order we could have held that below 25%. We did not. It was 26.33%. However, the ability to get the order done in 22 minutes certainly helped with our profit per minute, and that ended up at 44 cents per minute and an order profit value of $26.12. So it ended up being a very strong order in regards to order per minute. All right, guys. So the next order that we got, let's take a look at the next order. Now, the next order I mentioned was kind of a unique situation because there was a DoorDash. It looks like, hold on, I lost the slide there. No, there was no slide. Where did the slide? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I skipped the slide. Apologize about that. So the next order I mentioned here ends up being a DoorDash order. Now, this order was taken on while I was waiting for that $13 order to complete. So I took this order simply because I was at the restaurant, and the way I was looking at this was I had 2 miles on that order. This is 5 miles, so I'm really looking at this as a $20 7-mile order because I was willing to help the restaurant out a little bit because they were really busy. Figured I'll take this order. I thought there could be maybe some extra tip. So I've not really gotten any extra tip at this point in the evening, so I thought, well, maybe we'll have some. So let's check it out. Ended up with a $7.50 order. So I did end up with 50 cents extra tip. We worked 12 minutes. So the timing of the order was very strong because I was able to begin this order. The moment I got it, I walked in, it was ready, and got out of there and got across town. It was a really easy drive to get over there. The 5 miles that I drove there, I covered in this order. So I was able to offset the return miles back onto that $13 order. And by beginning that miles for that order on that one. So we ended up with 5 miles driven, 40-cent gas cost, 50-cent maintenance cost, $2.93 tax deduction, which resulted in a tax withholding of $1.14 for a total order expense of $2.05. Now we ended up with an expense ratio of $27.3%. However, again, this is a situation where the ability to get this order done quickly made this order more profitable and offset the expense ratio. We had $5.45 after expenses. Profit per minute was 45 cents. Order profit value on this order was $27.26 per hour. So this is a strong lesson, and it's really pounding home the idea that you've got to focus on order time on the smaller orders. You have to make sure you know your restaurants. You have to make sure in that if you need to make some audibles or changes, you can throw things in the middle there and to try to enhance these orders, because when you put both of those orders together, they both, the overall period, if you looked at it as a multi-stack that was done, it's still a very, very profitable 2 orders, even when you put them together. So after this, we followed up with this Burger King order, which was $8.12, which also turned into a stack of $12.69 for 2.4 miles. So going back and looking at this, we had 2.9 miles, 2.4 miles more, which ends up resulting in about 6 miles for $20. So I like this. We ended up completing it. Total order amount ended up being $20.81. We ended up working the order for 37 minutes. We ended up with 9 total miles driven because the way GrubHub does their things, they don't give you the miles until you're at the restaurant, which I have discovered now and realized this. So when I'm looking at that, I have to actually factor in phantom miles that are not even being shown to me on the screen. It's a little bit upsetting, but that's how it is. We drove 9 miles. We had a 73-cent gas cost, a 50-cent maintenance cost, a $5.27 tax deduction based on those 9 miles, and $3.89 withholding, for a total of $5.11 order expense. We ended up with an order expense of under 25% at 24.57%. A profit after expense was a profit after expense was $15.70. A profit per minute worked was 42 cents, for a total order profit value of $25.45. I apologize for the disruption here, guys. And this ended up being our last order of the day. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the final order of the day, or not final order of the day, sorry, the wrap up of the day here for the total profitability of our shift. So total for the shift earnings was $109.37. We worked a total of 204 minutes for 82 miles driven. This created a shift gas cost of $6.63 to be out. A maintenance cost that we set aside was $4.50 for the day, or for that shift. And a total tax deduction for the shift of $47.97. This resulted in a total tax withholding for the shift of $15.35. Total shift expenses were to run this shift was $26.48, including taxes, maintenance costs, and gas, and actual gas expense. So profit after expenses was $82.89. This breaks down to 41 cents per minute, and a hourly profit value of $24.38, guys. Now that is not gross revenue. That's taking home $24.38 an hour while I was out. And that created an expense ratio that came in at under 25%. So we ended up doing that as well, which is really, really strong. And that was just due to the overall orders and how it all blended together. So this shift was very successful, very profitable. It was exactly what I would like, what I like to see when I go out. And only having an expense ratio of 24.21% is absolutely phenomenal, especially in the times of high gas prices that we're in right now. That is also partially due to the fact that I have a Prius, and that is why something that I would strongly encourage everyone to consider. If this is your full-time gig, if this is your full-time job, consider getting a Prius, getting some sort of electrical car that's going to help with those expenses and help with those costs and help you out there right now during this time of really extremely high gas prices. So guys, I hope you got something out of this today. And I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, this is something that I do and reevaluate all my choices. I can, like I said, the worst choice of the day was taking that McDonald's order. And I should have known based on that McDonald's wait times and things of that nature that was probably the wrong order to take. Now, one thing you could go back and look and say, well, if I didn't take that order, right, the overall shift ended up okay. Had I not taken that order, I may have never gotten the pizzeria order, and therefore, a whole cascade of events may not have occurred. Now, if you look at the order as a whole and you see there's a whole lot more to all these things based on the turndowns and the flow of the day, and it was quite crazy. I encourage you, and I'll put a link in this video to that ride-along. You should check it out. You'll see exactly what happened and the story behind all of these orders and how we got to where we were at. Very profitable shift, though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this gives you some insight into how I think about it, and hopefully maybe gives you something to think about as well on how you should be thinking about your orders and the things you should be looking at when you're considering how to run your shift, what to look at, and how to evaluate whether you made profitable decisions that led to profitable results. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button to let me know that you and let YouTube know as well that you enjoyed the content. And also, please share this with any other gig business operators out there that you think could benefit from this video. Share it with them. Hit that share button. Get it out. Get this message out. Also, like I said, join the network of drivers that's are out here supporting each other, sharing information, and trying to help everyone become better gig business operators every single day. All right, guys, Dad Dash here, signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll be talking to you soon.